Hi, I'm John Halloran, and we get a lot of people asking, where do I store names? And I want to show you that when we hit this name tag, well, it's really not a name tag, it's really a letter someone's writing and putting a name on it. And we did this on purpose, so when you hit this one, we knew you would store names in here, so we left this whole area blank. And it's nice that this icon stays showing. We'll show you that in a minute. So that, because this icon stays showing, it's easy to draw the lines to connect the two to make a nice little visual support. All right, so the first thing you have to do is make it sort of fun and talk to the students or the other people that you're working with and say, which one of these icons would you like to be stored at? Like, I like to be Big Bad John, so I go under Bad. My wife is the person I love, and this is a mother, so that makes sense to store my wife there. And I have some friends who just love money, so I'm going to store them there. And then I have a friend who smells like a dog, but he also likes animals, so I'm going to store him there. And then I have a friend who's a teacher, and I'm going to put her name here. So what I did is I took this little extra step to say, which one of these do I want to be? And I spaced those apart on purpose, making them far apart to make them easier to learn. So now what I do is I'm going to store John right here where it's bad. So now what I do is I hit this one time. I go in here, I hit the setup key. I touch that empty location. And now I'm going to spell... I hit the capital J-O-H-N. I remember to add my space so it doesn't run the names together. And I say OK. Then I go down here and I hit change icon. And I hate these categories, so I just go down here to spell icon to find. And then I do man. And you could do other things, but I'm just going to do man here. And I look through here and there's not a nice looking double chin gray haired man, so I'm going to pick this guy. And then I'm going to say OK. And from now on, I can see that sequence before I begin. The letter or name tag, write names and letters, and I can see way across here. It's going to be easy to find because I'm far away right there in the corner. So when I hit it, sure enough, I pop up and there's John. So now I'm going to store love, and I'm going to put my wife's name, Cindy, in there. So when I hit this one time, now what I do is I hit this setup key again. And the hardest part is remembering where that is. Sometimes you have to put your finger there or something. And now I'm going to store the word Cindy. So now I put C-I-N-D-Y in there. Whoops, made a mistake. Delete word. I'll try it again. Shift C-I-N-D-Y. I remember to put my space. I'm having trouble with my clicking. C-I-N-D-Y. I remember my space. I say OK. I want to pick a picture of a woman, so I go spell to find. You only have to spell the first three letters or so. Then I find a nice picture of a pretty young lady. It looks like my wife. And I say OK. And some people talk about putting real pictures in here. I like more generic pictures because I'm going to meet a lot of Cindys in my life. And you can use the word John from everything from going to the bathroom in the John to working on a John boat to eating Long Johns. And the more generic the picture, the easier it is to generalize for the child. So if this is a real picture of me, it'll be hard for him to use that for another John. I also disagree, I know there's a lot of people that do this, but I disagree with putting John G and John D and John C in there because you're going to run out of space, and it's just doesn't make sense to do it that way, really. If you really think about it, that would be a single meaning icon that would be hard to use for anything else. Now remember, we took this little extra time so I can see the sequence before I begin. I can see it's going to be this plus the mother holding the baby. So when I touch it, I already know where I'm going to go to say Cindy. That's now I want to show you how great it is to make a visual support, how easy it is. I shouldn't say great, how easy it is. When making visual supports, you hit this, and this is the screen I want to capture. So you see what you want to capture first. So I'm right here. I can see the first button, and what I want to do is be able to draw a line from here to John, to make myself a label I can put on John's seat at the table, or maybe I could put that screenshot on his desk, so every kid in the class has a screenshot showing them their name. And maybe one something I'd really love you to do is make a book that they take home has a picture of John on half the page and the other half has the screenshot for their name. So here's how you capture a screenshot. All you do is hit the first button. I'm using the Pass software. I go up here to Tools and I say Capture the Screen. And then I name this. I'm going to name this one John because that'll end up being my page, and I say Save. I'll replace it. I've already done that once. So this becomes the page that I can now copy. So I can copy it, or I can go in here and I can open with, all I did is right click to get it, I can open with paint, and once I open with paint, now I can go up here and grab this line right here. And I like using a thicker line, so I go down here and I grab this thick line. So far I touched the line here in paint. Went in size and got a thick one. I like red, I don't know why. And then I draw a nice thick red line from here over to John. Then I go up here and I grab the circle. And now I'm going to start kind of in the corner away from John. And now I make this nice little circle. I like to add one more thing. I'll go back to my lines. I could have done this first, and now I make these nice little arrows like this. And I'm not very arts and craftsy, so I know a lot of people are a lot better at this than I am, but if I can do it, anybody can do it. So I'm drawing this little, so this becomes what I copy now, or I save. So I save this, and I'll save it as whatever I want to name it, John with, I'll do with lines, so I have the one with my line there. And now that I have that saved, I can now copy this and paste it, put it in a PowerPoint, put it in Word, change the different sizes, and now you have this label the environment. And I'd love you to make a little magazine that has the child's face on half the PowerPoint, and on the bottom part it has this screenshot so you can read the book to mom and other people or the parents. All right, I hope that helps. Okay, to show you what the finished product would look like, then all I did was make a PowerPoint, and I skipped a lot of that because everybody should know, if you don't know how to make a PowerPoint, you might want to have someone to help you. But I made this PowerPoint where all I did was copy these screenshots in. So now when I hit John, then as soon as the child would say John on their talker, I would just hit the next screen, which would immediately show them a picture of John. And then when I go to the next screen, and then when they read it, they say Cindy, then I just go to the picture of Cindy. And what you could do eventually is start with the screenshots, then next time, or maybe a week from now, take this away so they just see John, and then they get to see John, or they got to read this first. But I wanted you to see these screenshots and how easy they are to use, where you can put them into a PowerPoint. Now I could print this and make a perfect little book. So this is just PowerPoints, all this is. So you can see I made 4 slides. I had John, which took me to this one, and all that was me doing is copying this, and then going to, and this is, again, you probably know how to do all this, hopefully. But you make a new slide, and this is where you just paste, and then you can paste and change the different, if I want to make this smaller or larger, I could have done it this way, but I like the screenshot to be sort of large. But now I can make a book out of this, but what I really love is having them say John, and then you immediately go to the next picture. Then show them Cindy, and then when they say it, you immediately go to Cindy. So they get to flip the page by saying the name. All right, I hope that helps.